Yeah, so welcome back to the Oberg Guitar Studio. I'm just getting ready to profile these two transverse braces here, and I wanted to show you a little trick that is really useful. Kind of saves time, but also makes the whole process a little easier. So I'm trying to get sort of a, rather than a peaked brace, I like to put a little bit of a curve on it. So first I basically strike a center line and then a little indicator line on the side about how far down I want to carve it. And then I carve it to 45 degrees. Now this wood I didn't split, so there's a little bit of run out in it. So I found that planing in this direction, I'm not getting any run out. So I can get a nice clean cut by planing in that direction. If I walk over here and plane back in this direction, these are going to tear out. So rather than walking over there and planing back and using my right hand, I just start using my left hand, and then I save. I not only don't have to deal with the tear out, but I didn't have to leave where I was standing. You know, it's economy. It's one of these economy of movement things. So I'm going to go to just within a hair of the line on the top, then move over to this brace. And not that everything has to be incredibly efficient all the time, but this just trains you to become as ambidextrous as possible. I do this with chisels all the time too. Just put the chisel in your other hand and start trying to get familiar with the balance, how much pressure it takes. Your muscle memory from doing it on the one side will translate into doing a good job on the other side. Okay, so that's pretty much almost at the peak. So now I have to start sort of beveling the edges to fair that line in so that it'll become a curve. So I'm just tipping the plane ever so slightly each pass, tipping it a little bit more until I get down on the side of it, and I'm getting sort of down close to my line until I'm almost vertical with the plane. So that's good for that side. Now I can just shift over here. Just each pass changing the angle at which I'm holding the plane, a couple of degrees. And I can see from looking at the profile on the end that it's starting to get a curved shape. So now I'll do the other side. I've got to be a little more careful over here so I don't slam into the fan braces. So hopefully this will help somebody. Just give it a shot. Start using all of your hand tools with your left hand, or if you're left-handed, start using them with your right hand. So that's pretty good. I'll probably do the rest of the sort of fairing in of the shapes on the sides with some sandpaper. Get it a little more over here. And then what I'll do after sanding, needs a little bit more over here. The beauty of this handwork is that it goes quickly, it's not noisy, there's not a lot of dust. It's just really nice. The next step after I sand it, but I'll just go ahead and do this now, is to scallop these so that the end ends up being at 1/4 inch, and then that'll notch into my linings. I'll set the top on the body and mark and then notch for the linings. So this measurement is like an inch and 1.75 inches. This little jig made out of aluminum is exactly 1/4 inch, and then if I set this tool at 1/4 inch between the face of this and the edge of my blade, then I can set this on top of the linings and score a 1/4 inch line, and then 2 little saw marks, and then chisel that out. So this guy, now I know over on this end, when I'm carving in, when I think about this, yeah, when I'm carving in that direction, it's going to be a little bit problematic because of the run out thing I was telling you about, but there's a technique for that too. So this one, this side should carve just fine, and it does. This Port Orford cedar is just like butter when you get it in the right. When it's quarter sawn and there's no run out, this chisel's a little bit dull. You have to kind of stay on top of it because when it runs up against the aluminum, it'll dull it a little bit over time. So then you just sweep down in a curve and until the chisel is pretty much resting right on the aluminum. So I'll go through and do that on all 4. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'll do that on all 4 ends, and then I'm ready actually to start fitting the top to the body. Okay, I hope that was helpful. That's it for today's installment. Aloha.